unpause. Well, I guess record it. I'm a person.
Better to have it and not need it than the other way around.
That's so true. So true. And you guys, I do have to say thank you for putting up with me today. I feel pretty clear, but yet there's occasions 4 days on this liquid diet thing has like, I'm feeling good, but a little like sometimes slower than normal, almost a little earthial, like, yeah. So if I seem a little weird, you just have to go right back at it, Debbie, focus. So, okay, which I will tell you, I'm really excited. I'm not doing this to lose weight, but I've already lost 8 pounds. So I'm super stoked about that.
Very cool.
Yeah, not too bad. Okay, so today we are talking more about vision. And did you all, I went ahead and sent the worksheets to just in case it's easier to have them close by.
Yeah, thank you. Because I think I must have saved it locally on my computer instead of in my cloud.
No problemos. And so I don't want to like, this isn't a call you under the carpet if you haven't worked on it kind of thing yet, because we're workshopping as we do this. And I know some of you might be a little further along, others of you aren't. So if you have some of this done, like I know Pam, you and I are going to even talk a little bit more about this after this call. If you have some of it done, go ahead and pull some of that up, because it's also nice to be able to share with others. So I mentioned in the call the other day that in February, I'm going to have each of you, like, and we can talk about which day, present your vivid vision to the rest of this group, because it helps you to share it before you then decide to go out and share it with other people and potentially with your team. And it's interesting because I'll be frank with you, when I did my vivid vision, my team is totally 100% bought in. And I went into this, oh shit, can I really do this? Right? Like, can I create this big, hairy, audacious thing? And I was the one that kind of went into a little like, whoa. So it was a good thing I was in Italy, because it allowed me the space, right, to walk through that. But so as you're walking through this, I want us to be able to support each other. If some of those terror barriers come up, if some of those double binds come up, or loyalty packs, so that we can, when I say call each other on it, like that's part about that. That's a big piece for me of doing this mastermind, around being able to, like Kathy the other day, like it might have felt like we handed you your ass a little bit in your hands, but like we were like, we really want you to think about
it didn't feel safe. I'll put that.
yeah, but in some ways it's things that we need to hear, right? And so in love. And so as we go through these vivid visioning processes, sometimes it's okay to say, like I've sent it to a friend before and said, I'm not open for feedback right now. I just need for you to witness this and read it. And then maybe in about a month, I'm going to be open to feedback. And she's actually going to be at my house the first week of January. And so we're going to talk through it. So it's also about asking for what you need on that. So we were working on page 1, where it was about, what are you dedicated? Like, what is it about your business that you're dedicated to? And does anybody have one done that they want to share? Yeah, Kathy, go for it.
I can read what I wrote.
Yeah. And here really quickly, Kathy, before we do that, I would say too, at this point, if we're sharing kind of these raw like notes that we've done, like not a lot of coaching from any of us, myself included. And so you might have to stop me, but like, let's just be a witness to it. And then if we want to ask questions, the person that's presenting can say, if you have some questions for clarification, feel free to clarify or ask some questions. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am dedicated to providing a safe space. I believe I can do that to even the most wounded and betrayed individual who has no reason to trust anyone. In a safe space, I can guide them to heal and transform from victim dynamic to creator. I reach out and send proposals to individuals and ask for referrals. I teach communication and setting boundaries. I teach the power of belief and how to identify ones that are no longer working and how they are holding you back. I teach you how to take away the power of old beliefs. I teach topics that we are told we need to do, but I teach practical steps on how to do it. For example, how to forgive someone that you know you should, how to manage your energy, and how to balance with self-care. I guide people to their own instinct, how to rebuild trust, how to be safe for themselves. And after working with me, the client will be on their path of consciously evolving into their own role model, until becoming their own role model.
Awesome. And Kathy, was that both questions, what you're dedicated to and then what you do?
Now, what you do is next.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure I was understanding.
Okay.
Awesome. Anybody have clear? I have to tell you, I love the energy of that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I can go.
Thank you for
So,
sharing.
we provide the best customer experience from onboarding to exit and wow our clients at every opportunity. Our team is highly skilled and service-minded. They build long-lasting relationships with our customers so they understand their goals, anticipate their needs, and prepare them for the future. We're committed to working with people who value what we offer and treat our team with respect and kindness. We let go of rude or demanding clients who don't respect our boundaries or our team. We give back to the community through our involvement with CED and other organizations. We are connectors, bringing people together for a common purpose, making money through solving problems and delivering superior services. So that's my raw. I haven't
Awesome.
perfect. I'm sure I could condense that. I don't really know how concise this is supposed to be.
I don't think so. To me, this is more about generative, like creative thought about, this is more of the feminine, right? Like the creative thought about what's possible, what's out there. And we're writing it as if it's 3 years from now. Right. So I like how both of you stayed in the, we are this, we are that, this is happening right now kind of thing. And
yeah, I did start typing the I will, and I went back and edited those out.
Yeah, good job. And it's hard because that's how we're
Mhm.
programmed, right?
Yeah, I had to look at yours to like remind myself. Like what
And I
tense
had to
am
remind
using here?
myself a gazillion times. And then what also came out to me in that, and I had the privy of reading this earlier too, is that you have a very proactive approach. Yeah. Carrie or Lachelle, did you have questions for Kathy or Pam? Do you prefer Pam or Pamela?
Pam's good.
Okay. I always call you Pam, and then I just looked at your deal.
No, Pamela's either like strangers or I'm in trouble.
Okay. I don't want to know your middle name then. No, right?
That's exactly it.
I like the way that this was phrased, and I'm not far in my vivid vision because I think my world is swirling a little bit right now, and coming back to that. But I did think about it and was trying to, your comment today, whether in text or in email today, Debbie helped me sort of clarify this, and I was meditating on it. What am I dedicated to? I love that, and I wrote that I'm dedicated to providing new opportunities for myself and others through businesses, opening businesses. This is very raw, while creating positive and warm workplace cultures, growing leaders, whether on our teams or by coaching, and catapulting them to the next level, whether it is with us or on their next adventure.
I think that encapsulates exactly. And that's why I use you as the example, Carrie, because it's not about the specific business, but you are a franchisee entrepreneur, right? And I say that both together and separate words, right? And so you have this overarching kind of theme, and then you have all of this different diverse things that you do in that, right?
Yeah. It's hard for me when somebody says, so what do you do for your job?
Now you know.
I'm like,
yeah, because you build environments for people to thrive in business.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
You better believe if I have somebody in my life, because I'm a connector, that is thinking about a franchise or wants to look at a franchise, you're going to be the first person I tell them to reach out to.
Well, thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
The same goes with what everybody does, right? So do you guys have questions for Carrie or Kathy or Pam? Okay. Miss Lachelle, did you have yours? And it's okay if you didn't.
I don't, but I can wing it. Is
Okay, go for it.
that okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna record myself so that I can do two things at once right now. So so I would say that I am dedicated to empowering women to show them that they are capable of so much more than they ever thought they could by casting vision, showing them what's possible, helping them see their blind spots and solutions to barriers so that they can make more money in less time and spend more time doing what they love.
Cool.
I don't know. Is that
Perfect.
good?
Well, I don't know. Do you feel like it's good?
Yeah, I mean, it's like no matter what it is that I'm doing, whether it's coaching, my podcast, on stage, like I try to keep people in action and prevent them from burying their talents. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Nicely done, you guys. I'm so impressed. And so now, do you feel like you have a pretty good, like, let's talk about what do you do? And the important piece here that a lot of times in business, we just think about like all the tasks. What do we do? But how do people feel about it? Like, how do people feel when they do business with you? Right. And in Carrie, in this case, like I think about this franchisee that's creating a day for you. Right. So like the clients, because that's also a client, even though you follow where I'm going with that, right? You have multiple different kinds of clients. So that client has a feeling of probably a lot of respect and mutual admiration and knows that you're going to stick by what you do, or they wouldn't have done that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you all think about the clients that you work with, Kathy and Pam and Lachelle and Carrie, business owners, different franchisees, different all sorts of things that you have going on. What does that look like for you? What is it that you do and how do they feel when they do business with you?
I can go again.
Okay, perfect. We'll just go
Because it's simple. I work one-on-one with individuals on Zoom and I make my book available.
Perfect. And how do those people feel when they're working with you, Kathy?
I wrote at first they're apprehensive and even unsure that they're ready to do the work, but they are at their wits' end and don't know where else to turn. While working with me, they are becoming more aware of themselves and start growing self-confidence. And in the end, they are empowered and have tools to face daily stresses and reach out during times of crisis for help.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you guys hear that, Carrie and Lachelle, when you hear that, and maybe Pam, she might just be in her office in a different spot right now. Does she have a Grinch back there on the couch? We have to ask her that. Like, how does that feel like it encapsulates what Kathy's been talking about when she works with clients? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Thanks, Kathy. That's awesome. And those are things that you can use too when you're talking to clients, right? Like after you found out what it is that they want and what happens for them if they stay in what they're in and what happens for them if things change and they transform or change. And then you can talk about some of that even as you're talking to clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pam, you're up next because you're on we're next on
that is a Grinch, by the way.
Is it? You heard me?
I love that. Normally we would have that on the couch downstairs, but my dog will eat it. So,
no, I love it. What
so nobody can see him but me usually.
I love the Grinch.
He even has pajamas on. He has Christmas pajamas on.
Cool.
He was like a Build-A-Bear.
Favorite Christmas holiday movie? Mine's Grinch and the Elf.
Elf.
Mine is All I Want for Christmas, which is not like one of the mainstream ones, but the one from like 1994-ish.
Okay. Might have to watch it.
Love that one. Oh, you totally should.
Oh, I like
So
that
cute.
one too.
Yeah. It's got Lauren Bacall in it and Jamie Sheridan and Leslie Nielsen as Santa.
Okay, cool. Carrie and Lachelle, what about you?
I think the top is Elf, but I just asked my team this yesterday at lunch, the same question. But I love the magic of the Polar Express.
Mm-hmm.
So
Lachelle, what about you?
am a sucker for the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and I'm going to see Chevy Chase next Wednesday during a screening of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and he's going to like
fun.
talk about what it was like to film it and some behind the scenes stuff, and I'm super excited.
Where
So-
is that? That's super exciting.
Yeah, in our little city here. So yeah.
That's way cool. Which, by
Yeah.
the way, if anybody wants to join me on August 28th, I just need to let the person know that's going to buy tickets at midnight.
August 28th.
Sunday. Yeah, August 28th at Missoula at the big, huge football arena. Pink is going to do her, but tickets are like,
Really?
Hmm.
You want to go? I was
Oh,
gonna, I'm
already
mapping it.
going. I
Yeah,
have somebody ordering tickets, so I just need to tell them to order a fifth one.
yeah,
We
yeah.
just said anywhere between 1 and 150 was our break point.
Lachelle, one of my friends from high school, she and her husband are really good friends with Chevy Chase and his wife. Like they hang out on the regular on the weekends.
Oh, that's so crazy. Yeah. Fun. Super fun.
Perfect. Okay, Pam, your turn. What do you do? How do your clients feel when they do business with you?
Okay. On the Books exists to guide growing startups through the startup life cycle so they raise more capital, scale faster, and make more money on exit. We do this through a holistic approach to finance, providing accounting and people services. Our clients feel well cared for and less stressed when we're on the job. They sleep better knowing we're handling their finances and helping them build a team that will lead them to success. Clients tell us that we speak their language and help them focus on what matters. They trust that they can rely on us for timely and accurate data to make decisions, and we can help interpret the data if necessary.
Perfect. The question is, does that encompass what you all have perceived as what Pam's company will do in 3 years? Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we do
Yeah.
most of that now. We're just going to keep doing
Yeah.
it in 3 years.
Yeah. Okay,
It's
Miss.
the people services will be new though.
Yeah, yeah. And I like the way you say people services instead of human resources, because that opens it up to a whole lot of other things.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I feel like I really want to come back to this one
Okay.
because I don't have these written out yet. And so when you were talking earlier, I thought about who do I serve? And that's also been on my mind a lot lately as we consider switching businesses and writing books and all this stuff. And we serve a lot of people. And I think first I always say I serve my team. And then, then the franchisees, then we have like actual customers and who we serve too. So I would go back to one of my very first things in my Sky Zone world where I said that no matter where, if somebody had broken up with their boyfriend, they got in a fight with their mom, they failed their calculus test before they showed up, they would be wanted, welcomed, and loved. And that's going to keep them engaged, make them come to work. And so I think that is how I would want anybody we're serving to feel wanted and welcomed and loved and like they matter. And so as a core tenet of who we are and operating with trust and integrity, which then leads to confidence and trust, right, down the line as we're serving them. So whether it's the team member who knows that they can trust what we say, that we're telling them the truth, or the franchise that we're exploring who, is excited about us because we brought these tenants with us. So I think that's what I talk about. How do I want people to feel? I want them to feel wanted, welcomed, and loved.
Yeah. And Carrie, I would say, as you're doing yours, when you think about client, I think of you as like a headquarters.
Yeah.
Right. So within that headquarters, no matter what business, because it almost becomes your compass, right? In the fact of, we want people to feel welcomed, warmed, and I forget what was the third one?
Loved.
Welcomed,
wanted, and loved.
Yeah. And so then that also helps you make decisions, even as you're looking at what franchises to collaborate with, like it drives some of what you end up doing. And so what you do is you mentor, you create new opportunities for people to be employed, like all of those things. So if you think of yourselves more as a headquarters, that might help you think about how does that want to run, because it permeates out into the rest of it.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Miss Lachelle.
Again, winging it here.
Yeah.
But what do? I just put in here like the things, like the tactical things that I'm going to be doing, not eloquently like the rest of you guys did, but I'm going to be speaking a lot more in 3 years. I am going to have several books out. So I'll be speaking, writing, teaching, doing retreats and coaching. And the thing that I'm going to make people feel is safe, empowered, courageous, hopeful, and equipped. And it's interesting because I never really realized it before, but that's how I make people feel in all aspects of my life. It's like my patients when I'm putting them out, to my family, to when I was in network marketing, to my coaching clients. It's like help them see what they can't see in themselves, and then giving them the tools to make it happen. And it's a theme that I'm noticing. So I'm going to envision that that's going to stay the same.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's move on to the second page. And some of you may have some of this, but we're going to workshop just a little bit here. And when you think about culture, right, like this is where if you want everyone to, and I'm going to use you, Carrie, to feel warm, welcome, and loved, what is the culture of that then? Is it about creating, and Kathy, like you want to have a culture like within your business, even if you contract out and have other people helping you, like of creating safety, right? The psychological safety. So what is it that you want, like your business, when I think about culture, and feel free to pipe in here because you guys are all familiar with culture, but when I think about culture, it's kind of like how you operate. Right? Like for me, transparency is important, honesty, like some of the value things, but it's not just those words, but it's how do you set things up to then create that culture? Because we can say, and I've worked for companies that have said that they're like employee focused or whatever, but then not at all, right? Like the actions don't speak to what they say is the culture. Mm-hmm. Like we used to have a joke at Citibank that the C in Citi stood for change, which is so true. Cause like we had so many CEOs in a period of time that culture change, like all the training packages came down. And so that's not necessarily one I would condone all the time, but like think about what are ways that, cause it feeds right into the next about vibrational energy. But like when people come to work for you, what do they experience? Like part of the culture might be that you want to have them feel warm, welcome, and loved. And so part of the culture is that you're consistently looking through the lens of curiosity at your systems to make sure that they promote that. Sense? Did somebody have a question?
Well, I was like, I can read what I wrote and you can tell me like how to tweak it. Because I'm not sure if I wrote the culture of the business is on authenticity, safety, and acceptance. Ideas are welcomed and collaboration is honored. Choice is presented and boundaries are communicated. And the vision of raising one's vibration is held as the goal while having fun in the process. Is that the culture?
You guys tell me what you think, and then I'm going to say what I think.
Can you say it one more time, Kathy?
The culture of the business is authenticity, safety, and acceptance. Ideas are welcomed and collaboration is honored. Choice is presented and boundaries are communicated. The vision of raising one's vibration is held as the goal while having fun in the process.
Yeah. So I think that the first statement was your values and the rest of it was your culture. If I were to sort of look at that from an academic lens.
And you can have your values in your culture because you can say we have the values of, but it's helpful for other people when they're working with you or know about you that those are your values. And then here's how you promote that. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. I love all this verbiage. This is like giving me goosebumps. Okay, Pam, you're up.
Okay, so we focus on growth, both internally and for our clients. Our team members are clear on their roles and the rhythms of our company, and they thrive because of it. We are extremely collaborative and never competitive. We actually enjoy talking to one another and seeing each other in person at least twice a year. We believe that knowledge is power, and we want everyone on our team to have the power to leave, but the desire to stay. We
I
don't
love
run our business using traditional accounting firm metrics. We focus on capacity rather than utilization because it leads to better customer service, more collaboration, and happier people. We share in our successes, and that includes monetary gains. The more the books makes, the more our employees make in the form of salary increases, bonuses, and profit share. When we do something cool, we get positive feedback from a client or learn something new, we share it with the team. Integrity and honesty are key to our culture. We recognize that humans make mistakes and we need to learn from them. We never sweep them under the rug, and we always do the right thing, even when nobody is watching.
thoughts, comments,
Very
questions?
wordy. This was
I
like
got-
stream of consciousness one night, you guys.
I got chills when you said the power to leave and the desire to stay.
I love that. I might steal that.
Um,
Yeah.
Right, that's like one of the tenets, right? Of like, train them enough that they could go anywhere and do, but treat them well enough that they don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was really good. I'm like, I have nothing written out. I'm just like kind of like brainstorming it, talking, writing down little phrases.
I spent like one Sunday afternoon like reading the book and like doing this stuff. So like I
Yeah. And that's
had a little
okay,
head start.
because Carrie, we were going to workshop it today so that you had
Yeah.
time to work on some of this. So what I'll do is then ask, if you have something, share it, both you and Lachelle. And then if not, then what we can do is, what we'll do is then those of you that have already done it, if you want to drop off, you can. And then, or you can stay on, because all I'm going to
Oh,
do.
I didn't finish.
Okay.
The rest are a lot of blank boxes.
Okay. Well, and today we were just looking at the culture and the vibe, and
Yeah.
then we'll go on the next
Okay.
month and look at brand.
Okay.
And part of what I'm doing, and it's really interesting because when you look at like the chakras and our energy and everything that goes along with this is starting to set up the basis of allowing you then to create a tactical business plan. And we're kind of doing it in tandem. So if you decide you want to blast through this, then we can, like, it doesn't always have to be vision the first week of the month, right? Like we can be flexible and change that. So just know that.
What is it that you say, Debbie? Nothing is a coincidence and everything is.
Nothing's random, everything's relevant.
Yeah. I feel like that in my timing because I've had it on my calendar every Monday from 12 to 3 to work on, it says Vivid Vision. And I've been distracted by other things, but I also feel like the timing is getting more relevant and it'll be more refined as I have kind of walked through the last month and into the next month. So
Absolutely.
It's like ripening.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And that's honestly why I picked February, because I did feel like all of us are busy people, right? And we have things going on. And so this is important stuff, but you know what? You've done really well without it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking to my marketing person on Monday, because she's like, we're going to do all this, the business plan that I had for the whole year. She's like, oh, well, we're going to do this in January, February, and March. I'm like, no. This is going to be spread out because you're stressing me out, girl. Right. Like, and so now that you've done this basis, you can then go in and you're creating this, but you're still doing business is going okay, right? Like you're not going to die without doing this. It's just setting you up to then be able to continue to scale and continue to go forward. So that's part of why I picked February, is knowing that we would take some time to get to this vivid vision, and then simultaneously working a little bit on thinking about what are the goals for 2024 to get you, because you're already thinking about the vivid vision to that 3-year goal, right? Yeah. So Lachelle, did you have anything, or should we move on to the next one?
For the vibe.
The culture.
Oh, yeah. Culture. Empowered, forward-thinking, service-focused. Sorry, I couldn't figure out how to erase. So empowered to take the risks and encourages personal responsibility, high vibes, and positivity.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your business vibe? So this vibrational energy. So if you have I don't think any of us except maybe Carrie, eventually you're like sub departments will have a brick and mortar office, but like even in the environment of the brick and mortar, or even the environment that you want to surround yourself with, you know, like I think about Carrie, I think about your bookshelves behind you, Lachelle, and I love that. And how, you know, like Pam, you have your like spot, and Kathy, you have your spot in Texas and in Sandpoint. Carrie, you're like beautiful. I'm like getting rid of all sorts of crap. As a matter of fact, my stand-up desk is being put together on Saturday morning. I'm so excited. And like, so the business vibe is about the business, but it's also a little bit about like what are you surrounding yourself with? So if you don't have a brick and mortar and it's pretty much you, like, what does that create for you as well? So did anybody have this one done? Because if not, we're going to take a few minutes.
I have one sentence, but I'm not really, that's kind of why I got stuck, and nothing else is after this is filled out.
Okay.
Because I'm like, is that a vibe? I don't know. So, I mean, I'll read my sentence. It's very
Okay.
short. The vibe is having trust in everyone knowing what is best for them. And then I'm like, is that a vibe? I don't know. What is a vibe? Can you give me an example?
Yeah. So when you think about, like, I'm going to open up mine and share with you what my vibe is.
Okay.
So let me get there. So like my vibe, I say our organization is easy to do business with. We take pride in being of service to others, both internally and externally. We're caring and peacefully in flow. We meet ourselves and others exactly where they're at without judgment. And our digital space demonstrates care, professionalism, and passion with ease. So the vibration comes across as caring, professional, and passion. So it's a little bit about describing it too, but we understand, and this is where I think the vibe really gets into it, is we understand working with us is an investment in themselves and can be scary. So we keep things calm, cool, collected, and compassionate. Like we want the vibe to be calm. We want the vibe to be like this, like when people meet me, and I don't mean this to be unhumble, but it's like right now I'm the one kind of in the forefront. When they meet me, they understand that I vibrate at a very high level in business and go for that and attain for that. But I'm also, I feel like, pretty relatable, and I'm down to earth. Right. So like when I think about my own personal vibe, kind of the same thing with the business. Like I want it to be easy to do business with. I don't want somebody that's all prim and proper and in the like black evening gown all the time, although I can wear those pretty well too. Right. But I want them to understand that like we're easy to do business with. We take pride in what we do because we want to serve the best that we can. Right. We meet people where they're at. Like people feel that. So I think you're on the right track. It's not the same vibrational, like it is the same vibrational energy, but slightly different in the way that we're kind of naming it, a little different than when we talk normal, like vibrational energy. But it's kind of like, what are you attracting? Like I want to attract people that want ease in doing business, that want people that care and are in flow, that want this desire to be met without judgment where they're at, but they also meet us where we're at. You know, like you guys know, we've been building this community and hopefully it's going to be out here after the first of the year. And you guys have been okay with that, right? Because we built community a different way. And then also, like, I want people drawn in that are professional and passionate about what they do, but also knowing that sometimes they come in and they're very confident, but that it is a little scary, right? I don't like to work with a lot of kind of people.
Well, like you didn't even touch on what I would have said about why I'd work with you. I'm like, I want you to get this feedback so you can add it, because I'm like, that saying where it's like if you design your class to a class of monkeys to teach them how to climb a tree, and then you get fish in your class and they can't, that whole metaphor.
Yep.
I was like, Debbie knows I'm half monkey, half fish, and she can change it for, that was my feedback. She can adapt to, work the way I need to work.
That's a really good point. I need to have adaptability in there because I do feel like that's something that.
But you did say that you meet people exactly where they're at. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's related.
But
to what
it feels a
Kathy's-
little different to me, because like meet me where I'm at is different from how to get me to the next point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kathy and Pam, I see where you're going too. And Kathy, thank you for that, because it is, you know, like the mastermind, part of why, like I've been tossing around already things that I'm going to do in April. Like I didn't have a pre-canned, like, here's what we're going to do in this mastermind, because I wanted to see who was in the mastermind. Right. And that's why the other day I'm like, I had these people in mind, but this isn't the stuff that you guys are interested in. What are you interested in? Right. And so, which reminds me, I need to ask you a question about that. So somebody don't let me forget. And so that adaptability to change it based on the needs of the people. So thank you. Does that help with vibe?
Mm,
I have a couple
Yeah,
sentences on
maybe
mine.
if Pam can go, because I got a feel for her business, so.
And then I want to take
Yeah,
a few
maybe
minutes and
that'll-
have you guys just start to work on it.
Mm.
Okay.
So
Okay.
go, Pam.
So clients find us extremely easy to work with. They enjoy talking to us and don't see us as your typical boring accountants. Clients see us as laid back, friendly, and knowledgeable. They appreciate our get it done attitude. We have an excellent reputation in the startup and VC communities as the right people for the job. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's our vibe.
Yeah. I think that.
Mm.
I
Sure.
love that. So like unknowingly, I was trying to create a vibe 10 years ago. And like this was way before anybody talked about the vibe. And it's like, I like innately did this in my Sky Zones because remember I said I wanted those teenagers to feel wanted, welcomed, and loved.
Yeah.
And instead of having just like, you know, boring offices with a desk, the managers had a desk and then we had a big sectional couch in there because I wanted them to come in and sit in there on their breaks and and they ended up coming in an hour before their shift just to sit there and chit chat with the managers, and they would stay after their shift and they took their breaks and ate their pizza, you know, so but I didn't know that it was called a business vibe back at a time, you know what I mean? So now like we did it was very intentional. We put that same couch in all 3 Sky Zones, but the people who bought it took the couch out, so you can tell that the vibe is different.
Well, and I think too, Carrie, part of that vibe is creating space.
Yeah.
Right. For people to come in and feel comfortable to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's just something that's missed in the whole like retail space. And so I don't know how maybe I'll influence that side of the world sometime to be better to their retail people so they don't have as much turnover. Like you just have to want to go there.
To me, that's the feminine, you know, keep bringing the feminine in. That sounds what's missing in our culture.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And something I would suggest too to all of you is like notice why you're shopping if you're not doing online shopping. You know, like there's some stores here in town that like I got the coolest pair of linen pants before I went to Italy. I've never shopped in that store and I've lived here 10 years and I visited here like 15 years before because the vibe that it gives off is that it's old lady clothes.
Mm.
Leaves Eves. And I've never been in there until I saw those pants on the sidewalk sale.
I've never been in there either.
Right? It gives off this vibe of it's an old lady store. Now the clothes inside they're pretty and they're like I went inside and I'm like, oh my God, they have some really cool stuff. Then you go to the corner in this place called Grace and Joy. She's got all this eclectic stuff. She goes
been in there tons.
Right? Like I have coveted this pair of red leather boots in there. So notice like as you go to stores, and I'm not talking the big huge Walmarts and that kind of stuff, but notice like because they have a vibe too, but like notice if you go into a store, the Hallmark store here, they're so friendly and so warm. Like sometimes I'll just go in there even though I'm not looking for anything. And it's the coolest Hallmark store I've ever been in. It's not just carts.
Same, it is, yeah.
So
and the same thing when you walk in, they're like, "What are you looking for? Are you looking for something?" And I say no, and then I tell them what I'm looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so I want you to notice, like, as you go about, even if you're holiday shopping or just as you go visit other places, like if you're strolling down their little main street with the little boutiques, like start to notice that because that's what this is. Yeah. Lachelle, did you have anything or?
Yeah, positive. I get that I'm safe. People can be themselves around me, but I also empower them to do what I know is inside of them. So it's kind of that truth of the hug situation and connection, just that deeper connection that I think
Yeah. Perfect.
So
So,
like I'm thinking like the vibe I want is like home base.
yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And then describe a little bit about what that home base
What
means.
that is? Okay.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is that's kind of like this Black Diamond's really easy. And the definition of easy is different for me than it is my friend Angela. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Like
that
Kathy,
was
I almost
because-
feel like your vibe is like a comfy sofa that's like supportive, but like encompassing, right? Like
It's like a little
hug.
womb.
Like supportive, but
it's like
hugging,
Carrie's
office.
Come on in, we're Michelle,
Thank you.
the tour of the office. We had a tour the other day.
Oh, man, shoot.
Here.
there.
It's still in progress, but look.
Oh,
Green
it's so
Nice.
cute. I love it.
And then karaoke.
cute.
That's karaoke right there.
Mhm.
That's
And the,
awesome.
and the
I love it.
guitars are gonna go in there. So
Very
Wait,
cool.
I want to
I
see.
love it.
Do you have a swanky light fixture?
I don't, but I have a disco ball on the floor right there.
Nice.
I did. I put one of these in my
I
office to make
love
it like super
Ooh.
girly.
I love it. I could put one right there. People would hit their head on it. The ceiling's low and like part of it. So we're going for the disco
Yeah.
ball right there. I have a story
There
about
you
disco ball. So
Well, tell us the story.
oh, okay. So in 2019, I had a gal who was applying to be the GM at one of my parks, and she was moving from Columbus, Ohio to South Bend, and her dad with her family. And she was working at the Sky Zone there in Columbus. So I called her manager and I said, "Okay, so tell me about Shelby." She's telling me about Shelby, and we were really good at sales and marketing. We were also just known for having like the most fun. Mark and I leading the parks. We always like we would make the teenagers do the Running Man. We made videos, like we had a great time. And I said, "So what's something that Shelby could work on?" And she says to me, Laura, and she was kind of bitchy. And she says, "Well, Carrie, I know you guys have a lot of fun over there, but we really have to work hard to drive sales. And I just can't have Shelby sitting on the computer looking for disco balls." And I was like, I was like nice, but I was like, I think she just insulted me. And I'm like, first of all, we have fun and we're really good at driving sales. Like these are the thoughts in my head. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I got off the phone with her. And so I then ordered a disco ball to be sent to my Fort Wayne Park, my Toledo Park, and my South Bend Park. And then I told the managers why. I said, "This is because we have fun and we drive sales. And I love you. Thank you." And we did end up hiring Shelby, and she's like, I still talk to her several times a week. But she walked in the office and she looks up and she says, "Oh my gosh, a disco ball. I've always wanted one." And so, so now I have a gold disco ball that's going to go up in here. So we've upgraded it. So
And I think that's part of your culture and part of your vibe, right?
Yeah.
Is the fact that you have fun and produce highly, because there is scientific research around when people love what they do and they're having fun at it, like they produce at a much higher level than people that aren't.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, in our business, we had a section of the warehouse. We wouldn't put shelves, and we had a basketball hoop.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. The next month, let me check my little notes here because I do have it planned out for the whole year. The next month, we are actually going to be looking at let me blow this up, sorry. We're going to be looking at page 3, which is about what is your brand and what does it stand for? What does your marketing look like? And this is 3 years from now. Like my marketing today looks like I've hired a marketing person and she's doing X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. And I have a department, like in the future. And then what does your team look like? So Carrie, you might have a headquarters team.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I say what services and or products do you provide, what you do for people is different than what you provide. Right. Like in some cases it gets a little blurry, but this is where like a service I provide is that I have a mastermind, I have private clients, blah, blah, blah. Right. So we're going to go through. Wait, I'm in March. How'd I get there? There we go. We're going to go through 3, 4, 5, and 6. I know it's a hefty goal.
And what day is that?
Oh, wait, all of these are page 3. What the hell?
They all are.
Oh my gosh. So the goal is in
So
January.
just do page 3 then.
No, yeah, just do page 3. So like try to finish this up, because what we're going to do in January is start to talk through, we're going to debrief these, get to the point where you'll still massage it a little bit. Like I've been massaging mine for 6 to 7 months, right? Like, and I'm going to show you too, for those of you that aren't really whippy on Canva, how you can go out and make a PowerPoint slide pretty quickly and put it into a PDF. And then what we're going to do in February. And so what I need to know is who wants to share the first Thursday in February, 2 people, and 2 people that want to share the second Thursday. Their whole
Let me
vivid
look
vision,
at
like
my-
present it to us. Yeah, I don't have my 2000. I've got 2004
Thursday or Tuesday? What are we talking?
Thursday. So our Thursday vision call,
Oh.
Thursday tactic and implementation call.
I cannot do the first, like the first or the 8th.
It would be the 1st or the 8th, whichever one you choose.
So the first is the first Thursday of the month.
Yep.
And then you're saying the second Thursday of the month?
Yep. So the 1st or the
I
8th.
I really want to not go on the 8th, so I want to say I want to go on the 1st.
Okay. Thank
I
you,
don't have a
Kat.
preference.
I have
so
I have a
can-
friend I have someone in town, Jim's mom, so it's kind of like a mother-in-law. Just can't do it.
Okay, so Pam, I'll put you on the 1st, and then Lachelle and Carrie, are you good on the 8th? Okay. Perfect. Okay, so before we get off, I have 4 minutes. Pam sent me some questions. What I want to know right now is, for those of you that did or didn't, so if you have more, Pam, let me know. Joni Francisco, and I want to know, is everybody going to be able to make the call on Thursday of next week? Okay, because Joni's going to come talk, and she's not just going to talk about what she does. What she's actually going to do is take the questions that you all have, because you guys wanted to talk to somebody. She is a Reiki master. She is a physical therapist, doctor of physical therapy, doctor of nutrition, energy worker, just you name it. She does it, right? She's very intuitive. She's just come into this in the last probably 4 or 5 years, where she just gets these hits. But she's also I trust her over any doctor I've ever been to. Over, like, things that she recommended to me are things that this DNA company said that I should help supplement because of my DNA. And she, without knowing my DNA, had, like, she's just that cool. But she's going to be here next week, and I'm needing some questions. So if you would, I'm going to type furiously. What are some questions that you have about energy, about menopause, about being a woman in business, anything to do with anything with health?
I just need my own reading. I need my own my own energy reading.
Any questions about menopause, or if you're tired, if you're worn out? What can we do to keep our energy levels up? What can we do to keep our physical health?
We
Do you
could
have
talk.
the ones that I gave you, Debbie?
Yeah, I forget where they're at. I think you emailed them to me, so I just have to pull them up.
I
on
did. Yeah, I basically asked for like signs and symptoms of like menopause versus just like general like aging or like environment. Like, and some ways to combat that, or I don't even remember now what I text.
Yeah.
I must have, it wasn't, maybe it was in WhatsApp.
You know, because like a huge profound thing for me was, I would say towards the end of the day, I'm like, dang, I'm really tired. And she's like, are you really tired? Or is that just a habit that you've gotten into, saying you're tired? I'm like, oh my God, you're so right. I'm really not tired. So I quit saying it. Right.
Yeah. I would say ask for sleep suggestions. I'll
Okay.
go like times where I'm doing really well and I stay away from caffeine, and I've stopped drinking and so like, or drinking in the evenings. I didn't stop drinking all the time. Let's be real. But like, man, I woke up at 3:41 today. Like, that was super. And now I even tried to go to bed early. So, I'm probably a little anxious right now, but
I will
think-
tell you too, 3 o'clock is like the God hour. And
I
so
know.
I've been waking up at 3 o'clock lately, and I'm just like, with gratitude, I'm like, okay, God, what do you have to tell me? And would you download it pretty quickly? Because then I'd like to go back to sleep. And it's worked.
I know. And I tried last night to just really like focus. Like, okay, Lord, I'm here. What do you want?
So here's what I would ask you guys, because I really want to make this, something that you're getting a lot out of too, because she can go in a lot of different directions. And I'm also okay. I just need to check with her that she's okay with this, that like, if you guys are okay with her doing some coaching, and saying, okay, tell me about this and tell me about that. And here's like what I'm seeing or whatever. I mean, she doesn't do like, she does it in a different way. She's not like, oh, here's the energy of this and that and this and that. Right. But what I want you to do is shoot me an email by tomorrow with some additional questions, if you have them, about physical health, about being in business and staying healthy. How do we self-care other than, like what everybody always thinks of right away is massage and reflexology and all that kind of stuff. Right.
I
I
think
feel this is like the Pam to the accounting person, me to
Yeah.
her.
Yeah, there is some of that.
Yeah.
I think you two connected, didn't you?
Mhm.
And I'll be happy to tell
She's
you
great.
too,
She's
Yeah.
great.
she's pretty cool. And she's not just cool because she gave me a present. She gave me a prayer plant, which is really cool because during the day it goes like this and at night it goes like this. So wild. But yeah, so if you think of any other questions, please bring them, and then please make sure to show up next Thursday, because you won't be disappointed. And I'm super excited to tell you that starting in January, she's also going to become a program coach. So if you wanted to talk to her, you have the option of both Lachelle and Joni. And this has nothing to do with Reflection on Lachelle at all, but it's my dream of building a panel. Which as a matter of fact, I'm in conversations with 3 other people this month about being program coaches, and we'll see what my old coach says about that, because they're from my mastermind. But they're like,
I would love to be a fly on the wall for that one.
Yeah, that conversation's she's not going to do Spirit of Wealth anymore after June. She like stopped it, disbanded it.
Really?
So anyway, like some other people that might be coming online, I also have a stylist that might be an advisor. So if you wanted to take one of your private coaching sessions and talk with her about your style, like your clothing and what you wear and all that kind of stuff, what's good for your color, all that. Anyway, just know that's coming, but send me some questions and I will let you go because we're 2 minutes over. And Pam, just stay on this line. And
Okay.
then if you would give me 2 minutes to use the rest